Hey, I just wanted to talk about something that has been really present for a lot of my clients lately, or like forever. So, I primarily work with big-hearted black sheep rebel entrepreneurs who are generally in fields related to health, wellness, social justice, the creative arts, spiritual stuff. And a lot of them have personal brands, pretty lean teams, so a lot of the marketing falls on their very own shoulders. And some of them, learn the how-to of marketing, like how to show up, why you need to show up, like messaging, what you need to say, and their business takes off and woo, great. And others of them, they learn the same lessons, so the technically how do you do marketing, why you need to show up, why you need to talk about your offers a lot, how to explain the result and the transformation, and they do it, they show up, and they hit a wall. Like they keep not getting the results they want, and they're really frustrated, so they keep trying on different methodologies. They take another course, they sign on to another mentorship program. Hey, Natalie! And they keep trying to do it. They try to do more to fix it, and it's either not getting the sales at all that they want, it's not getting the engagement at all that they want, or they keep attracting projects or clients that are just really not aligned well for what they're going for. And they keep trying to fix it by doing, right? Another action, another methodology, another certification, another teacher, another influencer. And obviously that gets frustrating. And I think the thing that gets me, just kicked my stand. I think the thing that they often miss is that it's something internal going on. Something internal that's blocking them. And I'm going to take us in a different direction and then bring us back. So it's not going to make sense why I'm talking about dating for a second, but then it will. So lately, I've been going down the rabbit hole, deep diving on all this attachment style stuff for how we relate to other humans romantically primarily, and how that attachment style was formed by how our earliest caregivers related to us. And one of the styles I've been learning a lot about is avoidance, or dismissive avoidance primarily. And I was watching a video, I think by Thais Gibson, where she was explaining a dismissive avoidant shows up in a relationship with their desire minus their fears. And so she explained it like their desire for their partner might be at like a 10, right? But their fears of vulnerability, of rejection, of abandonment, of criticism are really present. So maybe their fears are at like an 8, which means their partner feels that the level of interest, the level of presence, the level of desire, the level of attraction they're showing up for is like at a 2, right? Which is hard to be trying to show up and have a connection with someone, and it seems like their desire is at like a 2. So often what happens is the partner on the receiving end comes to the reasonable conclusion that either A, they're just not that into me, or B, they don't seem emotionally available or present enough for the kind of relationship, the kind of partnership, the kind of connection I'm looking for. And the relationship doesn't work. Like the connection is not deepened. They go their separate ways. And I had this epiphany. I was like, oh my God, that is what's happening for so many people, talented entrepreneurs marketing. They're showing up with their desire for the business goal, for the how many people they know their work can help, how many amazing people out there like need their unique medicine they're bringing to the world, need their help. But their level of wanting that connection, wanting the engagement, wanting the client roster, wanting the sales, wanting the profits, wanting the accolades and recognition, etc., they're showing up with that desire minus all of these fears that are also showing up. And so they're showing up with the desire minus the fears. And sometimes the fears are actually, they think they want all these business goals a lot, but the fears are actually stronger than their desires right now. And because we're not looking at what's going on with the fear that's canceling out the desire, and how is that affecting how you're showing up, and whether you're even inviting the possibility through your marketing of having the kind of clients, money, success, recognition, fame you want. And so that's why, like, just another methodology isn't going to fix it. It's not going to change it. Like, the thing that's going to change it is, like, how are you cockblocking yourself, right? Like, what is the fear that is counterbalancing, canceling out, or outweighing the desire that has you showing up in your marketing in the first place? And I'll give you a few examples of ones that I see as very, very common for what gets in the way of marketing. So first is we have this, a lot of us have this big desire to be seen, right? We want our platforms to be big. We want people on our email list. We want people following us. We want people engaging with our work, so that we increase the possibility of finding and connecting with, like, soul aligned clients that are just the perfect fit for the work we have to offer, that are perfect. They're the perfect candidate for who is best served by our offer. And we know that in order to find these people and earn their know, like, and trust enough for them to buy and work with us and become these really beautiful, lasting, long-term relationships, client relationships, we have to get out there. We have to be visible. We have to allow them to see us. We have to let them hear our message. Now, we have that desire, but then we have this competing fear. Like, but what if my ex-partner, who really discouraged me and thought my idea for a business was stupid and would never work, what if he sees it? What if his super conservative parents see it, who I always had to really, like, tone myself down for so there wouldn't be a fight at the Thanksgiving table, and our values are just so diametrically opposed that anytime I let my mask slip and was really authentically me, like, friction happened with them, friction happened with my partner. Like, what if they see my marketing, and that those figures looming so presently in your mind makes you adjust the way you're communicating, not like you're connecting, inviting a deep connection with your soul-aligned clients who have the same values of you, who are going to get you, who are going to feel seen, who are going to feel validated, excited, uplifted by you sharing authentically. You're not talking to them anymore. You're talking as though you're at that Thanksgiving table trying not to set off a giant fight, right? You're talking to your critics. And now that's just like a random example. For me, when I started my business, I was designing marketing as though like my old boss or my old colleagues who, like, did not get me, who I could not be out in front of, who did not get me at all. Like, I was marketing as though they were my main audience. And now they could see me because I hadn't realized I was in full agency and power and allowed to block them if I so chose, just because they made me uncomfortable. It didn't occur to me that I could do that yet. P.S. You can do that. But because they were the main figure in my mind when I was showing up to my marketing, of course my aligned clients didn't have any freaking idea I was talking to them. I was inviting them in because I wasn't talking to them. I was talking to my critics. I was trying to talk down my critics to get them to back off and stop criticizing me, even though this was all going on in my head or under the surface, beneath the surface of my awareness. But the point of my marketing was to defend myself, to pacify, to protect myself from these really critical figures in my life. And so the primary desire was protection, was defense. Or as my friend Alyssa likes to say, the first act of war is defense. And it was not, my people, I see you. You are my people. I made this for you. I want to work with you. I want to connect with you. And so, of course, when the main figures, the main audience in my mind subconsciously were my old colleagues, my old boss, it wasn't connecting with my people because I wasn't talking to them, right? So my fear of having to defend myself against people that didn't get me was outweighing and pulling my focus away from my desire to connect deeply with my aligned audience. So that's when I see a lot. And, maybe it's an ex, maybe it's an old boss, sometimes it's a critical parent. Like, you might know this figure in your life, but I'm curious, you can DM me or comment if you're watching this later. I'm curious if you just had an epiphany, oh dang, I have been talking to a critic, not my aligned clients, when I've been showing up to my marketing lately. I wonder if that's why it hasn't been connecting the way I thought I wanted it to. And so then what we do is we've got to do some processing. How do we process the fear? What are we afraid of? And then how do we really get a clear picture of who we want to be talking to instead? And how do we bring that safety into our bodies, that it is safe to actually connect with these people? We don't have to defend against their judgment and criticism, because they are aligned with our values. They are here for our message, and they are going to get us. This is business shadow work that's really important if you are resonating with this. I'll give you a few more examples. Okay. What's another one? Okay. So you think you want to really grow your business. You want more clients. You want more money. You want more recognition. You set very high goals. I want 100 people in my membership. I want to be fully booked out with one-on-ones. So you think that's your goal that you're working towards, and each launch keeps falling far short of that. You're showing up, and it's not working, and you're frustrated, and you're like, why? I'm doing all the things. I followed my business coach's advice. I tried all these templates. I tried all these methodologies, and it just didn't freaking work. And now I'm feeling really stressed and harried, and like I'm on too much caffeine permanently, and I'm exhausted all of the time, and I am never going to get to rest, because I'm never going to hit these numbers, and I'm not going to rest until I hit these numbers, because if I don't hit these numbers, it just means I have to work harder. Okay. So let's wind it back. This is a common one for people. And then my next question is going to be, when was the last time you took a day off? And they'll just kind of blink at me for a second. And they're like, what does that have to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. Because if you are exhausted, harried, like driving yourself into the ground with your current workload, with your current amount of clients, with your current amount of work you're putting on yourself to deliver in a certain amount of time at a certain quality, if that's how you are in your business right now, with your current amount of people you're serving, with your current approach to marketing, and you are this tired, you are this stressed out, you are this exhausted, you are this unkind to yourself to refuse to let yourself take a whole day off, let alone a whole weekend, and you don't get to take any time off whatsoever unless you are forced to, because your mental or physical, or both mental and physical health collapse, then a really big part of you that you might not be aware of doesn't want you to get more clients. It doesn't want you to get more work. It doesn't want you to get more money, because it's like, well, how many times more is our workload going to quadruple, double, 10x? And then we will never rest. We will never get to rest. If you've trained your body already that you don't get to rest unless you hit these really big lofty goals that might take a really long time to hit, then your body is like, the only way we get to rest is if a catastrophe happens. You get sick. You have a really bad mental health spiral. Your launch fails again and you collapse in despair. Right? It doesn't seem like a protective mechanism, but I think if you've been trying to get these results and it's not working, I think it secretly is working. You're just not aware of the part of yourself that doesn't want it to, that is stronger than your desires for the clients, for the money, for the success. This is why shadow work is important. This is why looking at the inside is the thing, that's really going to make the shift so that your stuff can start fucking working, right? And this is why doing the uncomfortable work at looking at these parts is not a nice to have, not a when I have time. It is essential. It is essential work for you to step into the leadership role you want, the CEO persona you want. That's a big one. I had another one. What was my other one? Okay. My other one. Okay, this one is for my trauma babes. If you grew up with any sort of abuse, if you have experienced systemic oppression, if you've had a lot of formative experiences that made it very important for you to be small and non-threatening and non-dangerous. And by dangerous, I mean if you were big and people around you perceived you as threatening to either their own status, the way they saw themselves, or the safety of the system, like a work environment, like a school environment. If you, like, being fully authentically you, as brilliant as you are, as loud as you are, as talented as you are, as different as you are, if you doing any of those things, like fully owning it, fully being in your light, like stepping into your spotlight as yourself, if you were habitually, routinely punished for that in your life, when you were young, maybe in relationships, maybe in a job, if you learned that it was absolutely not safe in very formative experiences in your life for you to be you, for you to be as big as you are, because when that happened, you would be punished. You know what I'm talking about if you have narcissistic parents, for sure. That you would be punished, you would receive criticism, you would be knocked down, your self-esteem would be chipped away until you felt bad enough about yourself for the people around you, for the system erected around you to feel safe and non-threatened. Then of course, it's gonna be hard for you to just be like, well, now I'm gonna do it. If you learned that when you were big, you were gonna get punished, you're gonna get betrayed, you're gonna get tortured, you're going to get criticized, you're going to get abandoned. And then you go in your marketing and you take all of these suggestions and advice about, you know, being in your villain era, like being a boss babe, like stepping into the spotlight, being a star, being a Beyonce. And you go to do it and it makes you freeze. And you don't know what to say. You don't know how to do it. And it's not because you don't have that in you. It's because a part of you is like, whoa, 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 danger. We tried that before. And really painful things happened when we did that. So to protect us, I'm going to make you go blank. When the prompt is, when the invitation is, go take center stage, be in the spotlight, be you, be loud, be authentic. Big part of you is probably going to be like, nuh-uh, no. That's not okay. We learned that's not okay. So how are you going to get over that, right? Or like get over that? Like, is another methodology, is another outfit, is another lecture about how to do it going to help? Or is going into your shadows and being like, where did I learn that it wasn't okay to be me? What happened when I was me? How can I process that and heal that within myself? How can I support myself moving forward? How can I show myself that there are people around me, the support, the communities I've sought out, celebrate me and my bigness? I am no longer in the position where I will be punished for being fully myself. And if you don't yet have that community, how will you recognize the need for you to build one? Unless we do the inner shadow work, right? So I hope this is illustrating that sometimes the problem is not that you're doing marketing wrong. It's not that they don't like your face. It's not that they don't like your voice. It's not that they don't like your offer. It's that you have competing desires within yourself. And one is based on the desire to grow, to expand, to fulfill your potential, fill your calling, explore the power of your creativity. And one is to keep you alive, to keep you safe from situations that part of you continue to remain stuck in and think they need to protect you from people, from systems, from institutions that no longer exercise the same power and control over you now. That you are in business for yourself, that you are an adult, that you are XYZ. The thing is, we've got to meet those parts of ourselves so they don't keep sabotaging our efforts towards our big desires. B, not be mean to those parts of ourselves, because they're just trying to keep us alive. They just need some processing, some updating, some meeting, some integration. And 3, build safety within ourselves. Build the ability to be present with our feelings so we are aware when this stuff is coming up and sabotaging our efforts to get what we really want. And also to allow ourselves to feel into, but how could it be different? If I meet these goals and I connect with the right people that are going to be ready and willing to meet me as I am, they are going to love my message, feel seen by my message, feel encouraged and inspired by my authenticity, and me using the power of my voice to find their own authenticity and use the power of their voice. What would that be like? What would life be like? What defenses could I drop? What orientations could I shift so that I am paying attention to the right people? So that I am allowing myself to move towards desire rather than protect against something I'm afraid of. So it's a very different vibe. If you're listening and feeling this in your body, I bet those things somatically felt different when I say, what if you oriented your life, your business, your marketing fully towards your desires rather than protecting against your fears? Like for me, they feel very different emotionally, somatically in my body. And if you do this exercise, tell me which one you prefer to live in. Because I don't know about you, but the orienting towards my desires feels a lot better in so many ways. And it feels exciting, and it feels like cycle breaking, like change is possible, like progress forward. Okay, but in order to do that, right, that is kind of asking for some very uncomfortable, courageous inner work to go that deep, to look at our patterns that hardcore, to be accountable for the ways we might have accidentally been holding ourselves back towards these goals we thought we wanted, but didn't realize were being blocked because our fears were more powerful than our desires at that time. So I really hope you find safe places and prioritize finding safe places for this work. I think anyone doing this work should be in therapy with a licensed mental health professional, because for shadow work in general, like it's deep, it's uncomfortable, it's hard, and also entrepreneurship is extra hard. But also, I'd love for you to start finding the communities and the people that are on a similar path as you, both in terms of healing, but also of building the world they want to see through their businesses, caring deeply about the world and being willing to do this introspection because their work is that important for people. Like, we need you. We need your work. We need you to be able to do this. That's why my favorite work that I do is my membership community, the squad of excellently eccentric, big-hearted black sheep rebel entrepreneurs, so we can all be there to support and hype each other up, nurture each other when we're in a hard spot, and be cheering each other on, learning from each other's wins that they're also possible for us. And also, I designed this really intensive Business Valentine one-on-one offer. It's 4 one-on-ones with me where we're going to look at exactly this shadow work we've been discussing. Where are your fears outweighing your desires, and how is that preventing your marketing from working in the way you want it to? So it is very supportive, very loving, very whole system is involved. We bring the body on board, we do the shadow work, and then we help integrate the lessons. And it's such beautiful work. It's a little different even for me because it's I feel like I'm kind of like a tour guide for cave diving into your own shadows. But last week we did, for my initial clients for this offer, we did just one session, and the marketing that they started making after one session, like, brought tears to my eyes. Like, this is deep healing work, and it is so beautiful. And I think there's such a beautiful relationship between healing and creativity, like healing and vision, healing and hope. And what it's really about is kind of like how I started this off by telling you all I was going on a deep dive into attachment theory and how that affects dating and relationships. And the point of that is to doing that work, learning about it, is for people to understand themselves better so that they can show up to relationships emotionally available for healthy, long-lasting, loving romantic partnership. And in the same way, doing this work when it comes to your business makes you able to produce emotionally available marketing, indicate you actually do want to call in the results you think you want to call in. All of you does. You're not sabotaging against that because you've built the safety within yourself to be able to show up for people in the way that you are saying you want to, in terms of clients, money, following, renown, connection, community, fame, recognition, because you need emotional capacity to hold that stuff. You need emotional availability to hold that stuff. And on the receiving end, just like the initial example, if I'm showing up with an attraction level 10, but a fear level 8, then the person on the receiving end is going to be like, you're into me a level 2? You really want a relationship? Are you that into me? We don't want to give the same impression in our marketing because the people on the receiving end catch the vibes, right? We want to be fully on board for the results we're calling in. So if this sounds exciting to you, DM me. I will send you the link. Price is going up very shortly just because this is such powerful, seismically shifting work, and I think it's quickly going to be one of my favorite offers. So DM me if you are interested. I still have space for people. Price is going up very soon. All right. If any of this resonated, if you had insights or takeaways, I'd love to hear it. DM me, comment, share with your friends. Okay, love you. Bye.